Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. I'm just pumping out videos. I've been shooting videos the past 4 to 8 hours, just nonstop making videos, and we are still on that streak. I believe this will be my last video for a little bit because then I would have done like 4 or 5 videos. So I think we'll be good for the next couple of days. Um, this is a video that I was wanting to do for a little bit because I with Avatar 2 on the horizon, I feel that it's good. I feel that I need to do this kind of video just to get it off my chest, just so it's not in the review. Um, and it involves James Cameron and a lot to do with his recent comments on just a lot of stuff um, and all I can say to his comments, which we'll get into his comments in a second here, but um, the main thing that I want to bring up is when you have such an overly like I am all for people having, even filmmakers in Hollywood. I want people to express themselves, and I want people to be able to, to say how they feel. Um, Unfortunately, in the Hollywood landscape, we can't actually be super honest unless you have some kind of privilege, or you're contracted out, you worked independently or whatever. You can't really talk anything in regards to other people's work because people then twist your words and all that kind of stuff, and you're also under NDAs and other sort of things, or your buddies. There's a plethora of reasons why a lot of Hollywood people don't talk about other people's movies. The exceptions would be like Quentin Tarantino, who I admire Tarantino just for being honest about people's work. He doesn't shy away from you know from from being honest, and I respect that about him. Um, James Cameron is his recent comments about, in regards to 3D and in regards to opinions in general about his upcoming film Avatar 2. um, I feel put him in a certain light, and I must say, I sincerely hope, based on all these comments, that the movie is actually good, because one of the things that he brought up that I thought was just a really odd comparison was this idea of length, which for anyone who doesn't know, Avatar 2 has been confirmed to be over 3 hours long. Yeah, and there came that discussion with James Cameron a couple weeks ago about length, and because people were wondering how long the film was going to be, and now we know that it's being over 3 hours long. James Cameron made a comment a few weeks back about how how people were kind of saying that, 3 hours is a long time. That's a lot. That's a long sit. And he was like, well, people can sit for 8 hours to watch a television series, and I don't want to hear anybody complaining when I have my film out there, and if it's more than 3 hours, because people can tolerate a television show, why can't they tolerate a film? Well, firstly, two things that come from that. The first thing is that um, you have the benefit with a TV show to be at your own home, right? So you can you can sit there and you can determine whether or not you want to pause it for the moment, go get a bite to eat, or if you want to continue on to the next episode. That's you know um, that's that's all up to you. You have that all that control. When you're at home, when you're at the theater, you don't have that kind of control. You have to sit there. You have to be able to sit there for as long as the film plays. And for a film that is over 3 hours long, it's quite the sit. It's quite the sit. And um, for what people, it's fortunate that Avatar does have some kind of fan base, even though it's not huge. I think that it's more spawned from over time with Avatar 2, in development, and thus there was a fan base that was formed. Um, but it's very interesting hearing him make those kinds of comments, and also like other comments in regards to, you know, uh, like people were making, um, were casting certain opinions in regards to Avatar 2 and in regards to the production of Avatar 2, and you see how James has just been so like defensive over it, and um, I can understand where that's coming from because it's taken such a long time to get the film done, and he's looking to do like 3 or 4 more films. So I understand the level of investment that he has, um, but it also makes him out to be really ignorant and very naive. Um, because the reality is, because he was also talking about 3D again, and he was you know addressing, because someone asked him about whether Avatar 2 would probably revive the 3D format, and he was like, kind of making certain suggestions, and um, obviously 3D is dead. It is going to stay dead. It's never been ever a thing. The only time it was a thing was with the original Avatar, and that's really it. And the novelty of 3D has worn off. So even with Avatar 2 coming to theaters, um, I I know that most people will go watch that movie in the 2D format, because especially when your movie is over 3 hours long. No one is going to want to sit with 3D glasses for that extensive amount of time. No one's going to want to do that sort of thing. Um, but um, but the comments that people made are, I think, extremely valid, because you have to think about what Avatar was, because Avatar, to me anyway, was a technical achievement and not a narrative achievement. I know that some people, everyone has their opinions on on films, um, but most people that I talk to when they address Avatar, they talk about how visually amazing the film is, and it is. The movie is quite astounding on that type of front. But no one ever addresses the story. No one addresses the characters. No one addresses this and that, and that is because they're not as interesting. Um, and for you to do something of a sequel to that, to then make the film much longer, um, and with the nature of it being a sequel, I don't know if people would be enticed to um, to embark on that kind of that kind of viewing. I don't know, um, because I think that Avatar just visually did something at the time that was quite extraordinary. But I feel like we've advanced since then, and I feel like people are just not really all that intrigued by it. Obviously, mainstream and just social media, they'll be they'll bite anything that's in this kind of terrain in film. Um, but for anybody else, any regular moviegoers or just adults or anybody else, I just feel like they're not going to really check up on Avatar or really even consider it, because of how long the film is, and there isn't much of a legacy to Avatar beyond its visual strengths. There isn't. I can never. I never heard anybody talk about Jake Sully or anything of that regard. It's just no. I never heard anything like that. Um, so, but it's funny that James, is acting so like defensive about it. Like, just the attitudes is very interesting to me. And I sincerely hope, with all these comments that he's making about oh, people shouldn't be complaining, don't complain about this and that, and oh, I don't want to hear this or that, and oh, maybe 3D will come back. Who knows? Like, oh, this and that. Like, I sincerely hope that the film is actually good, so that his comments don't make him look a certain way. Because right now it makes him look a certain way, and um, I don't think that um, I don't think it's like, it's understandable to a certain measure, because again of how long he's been trying to get this film made. but I wouldn't act all cocky. I wouldn't act all like kind of snarky and suggesting that, oh well, this film's gonna do huge numbers, or oh this and that, about the film, and oh people shouldn't be complaining about this or that, because if they can watch an 8-hour television series, which by the way nobody has ever sat and watched 8 hours straight, um, but I get what he's saying. Um, like, oh, we shouldn't complain about length and all that stuff. It's like, based on what the legacy of Avatar is, which is just visuals, that's all it is. I think that there is room for concern, especially when your film is over 3 hours long. I think that there is a lot of concern to be had with it, because I don't know if a lot of people will show up for that kind of thing, Because if they think about Avatar, like I said, all they're going to think about is that visual splash, and I don't know if people are going to be sitting around come Christmas time and thinking, I really would like to watch those visuals play out again for 3 hours. I don't know. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it will make money. I'm not saying it won't make any kind of money, but I think the expectations are way too high, and I feel like people are just um making Avatar out into something that it really wasn't. It just hit at a certain time. It just hit at a time that, you know, where, VFX and, presentation of films were changing, and Avatar was kind of extraordinary in terms of how it presented those uh those new uh those new beginnings. Um but now we're in a different time, I've seen films that look better than Avatar, and worse than Avatar, but you know, it's just a it was just a mark for visual effects, but not a mark in storytelling. So I'm very, very curious to see how the film is going to perform. I think it will do fine, because I said just word of mouth and social media usually gets these kind of films like money. But I don't know if it's going to do the big numbers, or you know um, really work in James Cameron's favor as he might think it will. Because I don't know if he's gonna do like 3 or 4 films. I don't know. He's already done the third film supposedly, um, but I have a strong feeling that probably might be the extent of it. But we'll see. So James, I sincerely hope that your film works, because these comments that you've been making come across a certain way, and I just don't think that it's appropriate um, when getting ready to release your movie. Just, you know, I hope for it to be good, obviously, um, but people are allowed to have opinions on your work, and to have certain reservations about a sequel to a 4K demo. So, because that's pretty much what it was. It was just a demo. It wasn't much of a enthralling narrative. It was just a very pretty looking demo with some um, narrative beats that were um, that weren't irritating or annoying, just typical. So hope it's good. Hope it's good. But for now, I would say just lay off on doing interviews and doing comments, because I know you have a lot to say, but um, I don't know. I don't know. Just yeah. I'm all for people again. I'm all for people expressing themselves, but when it comes across it like James Cameron is, I I don't know. I wouldn't be acting that way. I wouldn't be acting that way. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on that. You guys let me know. Do you guys find James Cameron's comments on regards to like 3D and all this that kind of stuff? Do you think that they're valid comments, or do you think like me, where they're just kind of snarky and a little egotistical, or a little arrogant? Um, and do you guys think that Avatar 2 will do the big numbers that everyone thinks it's going to, or do you think like me that it'll do good, but it's just you know, or do you think it'll fail? You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more videos. We've got a ton of movie reviews in the future. Hopefully nothing happens. in the near future. But as of right now, we have a ton of reviews coming out, so stay tuned for more movie reviews in the near future. But until then, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys had a very awesome holiday, a very awesome Halloween. I hope it was safe and all that. And I am already looking forward to Thanksgiving. I personally like Thanksgiving more than Halloween. Just my personal thing. Um, but thank you guys for watching. Hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.